ग्रोथ मॉनिटरिंग एंड प्रमोशन। बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। अल्लाह के बाबरकत नाम से जो बड़ा मेहरबान नहायत रहम करने वाला है। वी आर कंटिन्यूइंग विद चाइल्ड हेल्थ एंड preventive pediatrics, and we have to see certain aspects of to improve the health of the children in our society, and we have to devise certain standards by which we can direct mothers and their parents, the parents of the children, to act upon to improve the health of their babies. This has been a very much neglected area in this part of the world, particularly in developing countries like Pakistan. And secondly, the socio-economic factor has played a very much important role in this aspect. So we try to see and devise certain standards by which we can guide the parents. So for that purpose we need to monitor the health of the babies, health of the children in a specific home, in a specific society, in a specific region, in a specific town, or of course in a specific country. So growth monitoring and promotion, GMP, is the standards is to devise the standards by which we can interpret and guide the parents of the children for their health. So by definition is the regular measurement, recording and interpretation of a child's growth change in order to counsel, act and follow up the results. Growth monitoring screening is actually a screening tool to identify children with faltering growth patterns. We have to see that the baby whether is developing normally or not, and if he is not developing normally, whether it's is short statured, small, having less weight than the expected weight, or other standards according to the given criteria, standardly given criteria. We see the babies are developing normally or not. So now if we have certain designs, if we have certain patterns by which we can study the growth of the babies, then we are in a position to design the programs for the management of the babies, and then to make the decisions, and then to guide the parents, particularly the mothers. Evaluation of the corrective measures tool for modification and education, as it provides a basis for helping a mother understand, and of course the other parents, the father, the grandmothers and the grandfather and other parents, to understand their vital role in maintaining the health of the child. Anthropometric measurements. Anthropometry is actually a collection of the measurements, a sum of the measurements by which we can standardize. We have the standards with us. We can standardize the deficiency of the baby, of a particular child, of some children in a family, of all the children in a society, or of all the children in a country, on standard lines, and we see what are the specific deficiencies in those babies, to design a preventive program, to design a developmental program for the babies, and to give guidelines to the parents, to the teachers, to the leaders, political leaders, and to all other officials in that area, the health workers and all officials in that area. So is the measurement of the size, weight and proportions of the human body used to assess growth and state of nutrition either of individuals or of the communities. Anthropometric measurements standardly are weight, height or length, arm circumference, head circumference, chest circumference, skin fold thickness. All those are standardly. There are others, of course. There are other measures, of course. For example, wrist size, or bone thickness, bone density on X-ray. All those things are there, but standardly and frequently used, which give us maximum information about the health of the children of a specific area, are weight, height or length, and arm circumference, head circumference, chest circumference, or skin fold thickness. So we have got certain standard references, and the results are compared with those standard references. For example, we may compare a child's weight with the weight of a standard child of the same age. So by doing so, we are in a position to see whether the loss of weight or the less increase in the weight is mild, moderate or severe, or it is a serious condition. And secondly, we are in a position to, of course, to design helpful program for improving the weight or the height or other standards of the baby. So two widely used reference standards are, one is the Harvard standards or the Boston Standard Population, and second is the National Center for Health Statistics, that is the reference with reference to the reference population. Then those two standards are very frequently used. Harvard standards are the Boston standards, and secondly the National Center for Health Statistics or reference population. So anthropometric measures as expressed in terms of standards are first is the weight for age. Easy, handy, and maximum information can be gained from it. So weight for age, we know the age of the baby, and now we want to see the weight of that baby, whether it matches with the standard or not, whether it's less, and if it is less, how much is less, or if it is more, how much is more. So weight of a child expressed as percent of weight of standard child of the same age. We have got the reference, we have got the chart, and we can decide whether the weight of the child is with the reference or not. Then is the height for age. We know the height of the baby, we know the age of the baby, and now we see after examining the height of the baby, we can see the standards on the chart. Sometimes we have got the design charts where we can see given by certain medicinal companies or other agencies, and then we can see the height is standard or not. So height of the child expressed as percent of the height of the standard child of the same age. So by height we gain also much of the knowledge. This distinguished children who are short, stunted for age. Stunting is associated with chronic undernutrition and ill health. And then is the weight for height. It is helpful particularly in those children who actually have got a normal nutritious look and nutritional development, but at some stage they have got some physical problems or some chronic illness or some nutritional problem, and then loses weight. Height has been achieved, but the weight is not there as it should be according to the given standards. So weight for height. So weight of a child expressed as percent of the weight of standard child of the same height distinguishes children who are thin or wasted and suffering from present and acute type of malnutrition, or maybe the nutrition may be chronic, but still it has developed after the child has achieved the required height. Then is the malnutrition. When we were studying in our class, we have seen that the malnutrition is not only the undernutrition, for which we have most of us consider. It is the complex of certain things. Maybe it is undernutrition, or it may be overnutrition, or it may be deficiency of one specific constituent of food, or it may be the excess of some specific constituent of food. So it is a state of pathological condition resulting from a relative or absolute deficiency or excess of one or more of the essential nutrients. So by summarizing this definition of four things, it is in single line. I repeat it again. It is a state of pathological condition resulting from a relative or absolute deficiency or excess of one or more of the essential nutrients of the food. Now, classification of nutrition based on Harvard standards. Harvard standards. So first of all, Gomes classification. Gomes classification is weight for age. Weight for age first is Harvard standards. First is Gomes classification. Weight for age. Expected, if weight is more than 90% of the expected weight for the age, then we can consider the baby as normal. If the weight, we have got the standard chart, we know the age of the baby, we see what should be the age, weight, and if it is, say for example, more than 90% more than 90% of the weight, then we can consider this baby as normal. Still we need to give certain advices, but if the weight is between 76 to 90% of the expected weight, then it is grade 1 malnutrition or malnutrition. Grade 1 or nutrition or malnutrition. Here we have to have certain advices, certain dietary lessons, certain other advices, and certain other tests may be needed. And then is the 61 to 75% when expressed then when the expected weight is less than 75% and in between 61 to 75%, then it is a grade 2 type of malnutrition, which is called moderate nutrition. Here we have to to interfere and to start certain other programs to change the nutrition pattern, dietary pattern, dieting times. The advices are given to the parent, particularly to the mother. And finally, if it is less than 60% of the expected weight, then it is severe malnutrition, where we have to interfere into it, and we have to give standard guideline to the mother and to the parents, and we may need certain intravenous support, nutritional support to the baby, or certain other supports to the baby to increase the weight of the baby. Then is the next classification. First was Gomes classification, then second is the Wellcome classification. Wellcome classification tells us weight for age and presence or absence of edema, to distinguish between various clinical forms of protein energy malnutrition. We all know that if it is a small baby, then it's marasmus, and if it is a relatively older baby whose age is up to 5 years, then it is kwashiorkor, and if it is more than that age and edema and weakness, both less weight and edema is there, then it is protein and energy malnutrition. Let us see what the classification says. Wellcome's classification. See it. If expected weight is between 80 to 100%. Now it is different than what previously we have learned from Gomes classification. It is Wellcome's classification differs in the way that if the weight is between 80 to 100% of the normal, then it is will be considered normal, and if it is between 60 to 80% of the expected weight and no edema is there, then the baby is undernourished. There is no disease, but it is undernourished. And if the baby is between 60 to, for example, 80% and has got edema, then it is kwashiorkor, and if is less than 60 but there is no edema, then it is marasmus, and the baby is younger than 1.5 years. But if baby has got less than 60% of the weight and edema, then it is by all means of a protein energy malnutrition. Marasmic kwashiorkor is there, and this is a serious condition where a definite crash type of program may be needed. And then third is the Waterloo classification. Waterloo classification is the third one. First was the Gomes classification, then is the Wellcome's classification, and now it is Waterloo's classification, where first thing is deficit in weight for height. Deficit in weight for height. It is called wasting, and wasting means that the child is giving a weak, emaciated look or wasted look, and the standards are, first of all, if the weight is more than 90% of the weight of the baby according to the height. We know the height of the baby, the standard is given, we weigh the baby, we know that it is more than 90%, then there is zero malnutrition or no malnutrition, baby is normal. And if the weight is between 80 to 90% of the expected weight of that standard weight of that height baby, with the height of that baby, then it's mild wasting or grade 1 malnutrition. Mild wasting or grade 1 malnutrition. And if the weight is between 70 to 80% of the expected weight, then it is moderate or grade 2 malnutrition. And third, severe or serious type of malnutrition is where the weight is less than 70% of the expected weight for the height of that baby, and it is severe wasting or severe malnutrition. This is where moderate and severe wasting, where we need to interfere, the medical people need to interfere, and for the mild wasting we need to give certain advices only as far as preventive pediatrics is concerned. Then is the B category for the Waterloo classification. First was deficient in weight for height, and then is the deficient in height for age. If the baby has got certain in some age his or her height is low, small, then the baby is called stunted growth or short stature. Then we see that if the grades are for the Waterloo classification, the grades are First of all, if more than 90% of the height is there for the given weight, then baby is normal, and if the height is, for example, in between 90 to 95% of the given height, then it is mild stunting or short stature but not that serious. And if it is between 85 to 90% of the expected height for the given weight, then it is moderate stunting. And if it's less than 85%, then it is severe stunning, where we need to interfere by all means. So those are the standards of the malnutrition. Then we continue with high infant mortality and morbidity. I have got to take tea, and see you next time. Thank you. Oh यार मेरा ख्याल नहीं हुई, फिर नहीं हुई। वो मैं 10 नंबर जो दबा रहा हूँ वो गलत कर रहा हूँ। ओ या अल्लाह, मैं देखता हूँ, फिर देखता हूँ क्या हुआ क्या इसमें। इसको मेरा ख्याल में यहीं से दोबारा शुरू